Hello. Right, one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Right, just going to share this. So you all know I'm here. Excuse me. Pardon me. That's on face cloth. And now Twitter. Okay. So, welcome everyone. No one's here yet, but I expect some people will join me soon. I know some of you will be watching this on the recording, so that's fine. I mean, I'm going to keep the recording available for you. I've actually got record pressed on OBS just in case YouTube decides to yeet the stream. Hello, Jake York. How are you? Excuse me. Hello, Jake Yorkman. Welcome, Jake Yorkman. How are you? I'm just waiting for a few more people to join. Hello, Maiden Fan 71. How are you? Welcome. 5 people viewing now, 1 like already. That's good. Thanks, mate. Jake says I'm looking smart. Yeah, obviously this is not going to be a happy live stream, but it's going to be hopefully one which we can take heart from. I want to show a bit of respect based on the subject matter of this particular live stream. I'm just going to share this around on Facebook, actually. Oh, God, I'm not going to get... I've got a tickly... Not going to get a tickly cough the whole time, am I? I hope not. Anyway, so I'll just share this to a couple of groups. There we are. This won't take long. So everyone knows I'm here. That's cool. Hello, Michael Snow. How are you? Hope you're alright. Thanks for joining me. Nihilist Lives Matter. Hello. Thank you. Hang on. I've got a warning sign here. Please check the video resolution. The current resolution is 640 by 480, which is not optimal. Hello, Armand Abens. How are you? Can you see me alright? Is there a problem with my webcam? Let me know if you can't see me for some reason. Let's just check I'll just check the actual copy I've got here. But if you can't see me for some reason, it looks alright to me. I mean, this webcam's not ideal. Almond, I hope I'm alright. I am all good. Thank you very much, guys. I'm obviously sad, Almond. I'm like we all are. I still feel sad, but hopefully... Hello, Woody Black. How are you? Hopefully we can have a nice memorial live stream for Gareth Davies, which is what this is about. This whole live stream is a tribute to Gareth Davies. I'll be doing another tribute actually on Paranormal Radio as well, because I know that not everyone who watches Paranormal TV also listens to Paranormal Radio. There is some crossover. I know some of you do, but not everyone. So week after next, I'll be doing a tribute to Gareth, a special tribute show to Gareth, just as a memorial, as this particular live stream is as well. The day before that, I'm going to be doing I'll be attending a real world memorial service for Gareth in his hometown Swansea, South Wales. There's going to be it's not going to be actually a funeral. Gareth did have a funeral in Los Angeles where he lived, But obviously, for various reasons, I'm not going to go into all of them, but obviously there's some practical reasons why some people were not able to attend from his Welsh family, which is basically tests and self-isolation traveling when you travel internationally. Jake Yorkman says, I didn't know Gareth, but I'll pay my respects to him on this live stream. Condolences to his family and friends. Thanks, Jake. I mean, you can see, thanks to the legacy he left behind in terms of his recordings, you can still get to know him posthumously. Hello, Della. How are you? How are you, Della? Hello, mate. Missed the beginning. Have now. Thanks, Della. Della, I've only been going for 5 minutes. It's all right. I've just started. This is the good news, guys. You can all get to know Gareth now posthumously, simply because of what he left behind, which is a huge amount of material where he presents shows, which include all the mindset, all of the second series of the Mindset podcast and the other things on Mindset Central, Paratalk, and other shows, plus an even greater number in the first series. Now, we may not be able to restore all of them. We're doing our best to gather as many of those as we can. Basically, we're relying on people who had downloaded them when they listened to them all those years ago. Because Gareth took a little break. In 2017, he took 18 months off. He sort of just had a break from the Mindset, and he went and did other things in his personal life, and came back in 2019 for a new series of Mindset Central. Everything on the second series is available now. I'll just double check it's still there, because I don't know how long this website's going to be there. Now, MindsetCentral.com is still there, and his SoundCloud channel is still there. These may not last forever, unfortunately. But all of the second half of Gareth's oeuvre. Hello, User One. How are you? And hello, Charles from Project Camelot. Hello, mate. How you doing? As I was just talking to the others and letting you know that we're going to get as much as Gareth's archive together as possible. It's possible we might be able to find everything. All of the second series is there now. Download it while you can. It's on SoundCloud. It's on iTunes. I don't know how long it's going to last, because these things you have to pay for. And Gareth, of course, is not paying for them anymore. It could be they will cancel his account immediately as when the payment stops. Now, he's got a huge amount of material on YouTube as well, which now that is actually pride and dignity, Charles. That is actually a lot more secure. I would still download it, but YouTube, social media, tends to be a bit more secure. Hello, Winslow. How are you? Thanks, Winslow. Social media tends to be a bit more secure than something you pay for, like a paid platform. I know lots of people. There are Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, YouTube accounts. They're still there, of people who died. People who died quite a long time ago in some cases. And they are alive and well. And sorry, they're not alive and well. What am I talking about? Sorry, the accounts, the social media contribution is still there. All the posts are still up, which means and inactive, of course, but all their tweets, all their posts, all their videos are still there. And User One said the Patreon is still up with new MSP old Paratalk on there. Right. Yeah, there's some exclusive material available to Patreon contributors as well. Some of that is I can't access this myself. But if you're a Patreon contributor, you'll be able to access them. This includes a show I did with him on which is behind the paywall. Gnarly Slice Matter says, I didn't know Gareth's work. How would you describe it to someone unfamiliar with his work? Very similar to myself in some ways, Nihilist. Gareth was a communicator of information. He was a presenter, very professionally done. He'd been doing it for a long time. He was part of the original podcast community in the late 90s when the World Wide Web began. And he started Mindset Central in 2009. He did other things before that. The show Nervous Teeth actually predates Mindset Central. But he covered pretty much the same subjects I do in his own unique way. and his own unique way was involving his sense of fun. I think I'll never forget. I think it was his sense of fun, his broad smile, and his easygoing nature, and the fact that he found things enjoyable, a lot of enjoyment out of what he was doing. I think that's what sticks with me the most. As I said, go to mindsetcentral.com. I'll put your link in here. All the second series material is here, which I would download. You can download it for free. There we are, guys. It's on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, etc. The first series, we're working on getting that together. The first series of Mindset, the 2009, which ran from 2009 to 2017. We're gathering as much of that together as we can. It will be published. I personally have about 100. I don't know exactly. It's about 150 episodes of the first series of Mindset podcasts. Basically, all the ones with me in, and I'm publishing them on the Interesting Videos Public YouTube channel. But I'm also copying them to my own page, to the Ben Emlyn-Jones group appreciation group, and also the Mindset Central group. I'm just editing them together. I'm going to do program 21 in a little while. Hello, David, Splendid Isolations. Gareth seemed like a really nice bloke. He was, David. He really, really was. And even though now you can't meet him personally, but not in this lifetime anyway, you can still get to know him through his works, which he's left behind. We're going to make sure as much of that is preserved as possible. So keep an eye out. If you follow me on Facebook, or you don't even need to follow me on Facebook, go to Interesting Videos Public, and you'll see me uploading them there. This is a public group which you can access from outside Facebook. You can download them from there too. Hello, Bumbelina. How are you? I remember when I was on his first ever show. Where is it here? Let me just play it for you. It's where I first appear. It's really cool. It might not. Here we go. Hang on.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Mindset Podcast, episode 128, we say hello and welcome back an old friend, while also introducing a new one. We also talk about David Icke, the Jews, Israel, and the war, Hostess going out of business, and where's the Twinkies going, and a whole lot more. Here's the music.
BBC News from BBC World.
This is an NBC News special report.
This is a CBS News special report. Hello, a very good morning. You're watching BBC News with Carrie Gracie and Simon McCoy.
From ITN News at 10.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be around this wild, wacky, and sometimes disturbing world of ours. This is the Mindset Podcast. I'm Gareth Davies in Los Angeles, California, and joining me live via the internet. Wow, we got a panel today, folks. We have a ton of people sprinkled throughout the planet ready to talk about what's going on this crazy world of ours. Let's kick it off, of course, with The Rock, the staple of the show, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alex Fate in London. Hey, Alex.
Flattery will get you nowhere, Mr. Davies.
How's it going?
Welcome back.
Yeah, dude. I was just saying, just before we started, today's show is going to be the exact opposite of last week's show.
I think we're going to have to just budge up a little bit closer here, and then maybe we need to invest in a larger table.
We need a bigger studio. We need a complex, a massive campus filled with.
Make it so.
Make it so, number one, indeed. Yeah, we got a ton of people on today, but I think we're going to have a truly, truly tremendous show. First, I want to introduce someone who we haven't spoken to in a while, but I want to say hi and welcome her back. Venerina, how you doing?
Hello, Gareth. Hello, everyone. I'm good, thank you. And thank you very much for the warm welcome.
Yeah, welcome back. It's been several months since your last appearance on the Mindset Podcast. Can I just ask you real quick, what have you been up to?
Well, basically, it's just been home, work. And but the season's over, and I'm now unemployed again, so I have a lot of free time on my hands.
Yay! Not about the unemployed part, just the free time part. Yay! Well, that's great. Sounds like you have a little bit of a cold there, and I really appreciate you coming on, being all sick and everything. But that's the Mindset tradition. I know last week, Alex and myself was battling the virus.
Yeah, it's been spreading around the table. That's for sure.
I was going to say, so you guys gave it to me, did you?
We must have. It's floated over the internet, I guess. But anyway, Venerina, awesome to have you back. Hopefully, you'll be a regular moving forward. And we'll take it as it comes, because I know that you're off and about and traveling the planet every 3 seconds. So we'll see how it goes. Next, let's get the regulars out of the way. Then we have a very special person we want to introduce. So let's talk to. Let's see. Oh, so many people to choose from. Let's go to Reeves. Hey, Reeves.
Hello, Gareth. How are you?
Did you miss us?
No.
Come on.
No.
Okay. So how you doing, man? How's it going over there?
Yeah, keeping busy. I did miss you. I missed not being on the show. I wept for many hours.
Yeah, we had a great show last week. Just me and Alex. Yapping for an hour and a half about the mental cases that run the planet.
There are plenty of those, and that's plenty to talk about.
Yes. Well, great to be back, Reeves. Great to have you back on the show. Let's shoot straight over to sunny, or maybe not so sunny, Florida, and say hi to Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hello, Gareth. Hello, Reeves. Everyone. It's good. Wow,
we got
a show, man.
What a show. We should be playing circus music as I juggle.
It's great to be back, man. I was gone last week. I missed you guys.
Hey,
feel better.
What happened, dude? Were you like stuck up a mountain or something?
Man, after the election here, and just everything kind of just got to a certain point, we had to get out of here. You know,
we got to get out of this place.
Yeah, we went to the North Florida in the Panhandle area, very woodsy up there, a lot of trails. So we went up there and for a couple of days and just got away in the woods. I was going to try to call in Sunday. I didn't have a good signal up there, though.
You were deep in the woods?
Yeah, deep in the woods, man. Looking for Sasquatch or skunk. No, it was good. Good time to get away, man, you know. You ain't from around these parts.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's cool that you had a good time up there, and it's great to have you back, Joe.
But as I left, I see the world's falling apart. I come back, I was like, what the hell's going on?
I know. Yeah, so you leave for 5 minutes and everything falls apart. All right, let's move to our final panelist today. I'd like to introduce Ben. Now, Ben, did you want to be called Ben Emlyn-Jones, or Ben the Porter?
Oh, well, most people call me Ben when they're happy with me. If they're not, they usually call me other things that are probably not broadcastable, so Ben will do.
Or Benjamin.
Oh, only my mother calls me that when she's annoyed with me.
Benjamin! Empty the bin.
Oh, not now.
Anyway, Ben, it's great to have you on the show. Let's tell our listeners a little bit about Ben and his whole deal with the NWO. Now, Ben has been very, very prolific on YouTube, making some videos, and I have to admit, Ben, for the last maybe a week or so, your videos have become like crack for me.
Oh, thank you.
I've been not chronologically. I've been jumping around a lot and looking at your videos, and I have to say,
that's it. If you want to listen to the rest of that, you can do very easily. It's excuse me. It's on the Interesting Videos public YouTube Facebook page. I'm uploading them all there, and please feel free to share them around. It'll be absolutely fine. I mean, there's no real copyright issues anymore. that was how I joined the Mindset podcast. I turned up on that show, and I just kind of I wasn't planning on staying. I just did one show, and I was recommended by, I think it was Reeves recommended me, and he said, "Oh, you'd be a good," because Gareth was enjoying my videos, as you heard, and he just said, "Get Ben on." This was back in 2012. This was, I said 2013 wrongly. On my last time I was interviewed about this, it was actually 2012 when I joined Mindset Central. And I just kind of hung around. After the first show, Gareth invited me back, and I said yes. And then from that time on, I think I did, unless I couldn't get on, unless I couldn't do it, I never turned him down again. Good evening, Gary Garner was there. And Charles says, punch the air for Gareth Davies. Yeah. Air punching, loving and leaving, bedpan flinging, finger to the NWO porter. Yes, Charles, that's a good one. That's a good one. You heard those other people on there. There was as you heard, Alex Fate, who was there when I started, Venerina, and Reeves and Joe. And by the end of it, it shifted a little bit. People came and went. Alex left. I don't think anyone ever left permanently. They just sort of like go away, and they'd say, "That's it, I'm going to go away." They'd be away for a few months, but they'd often come back and do like one-off shows. So none of the contributors really left. I mean, there were a couple I never met because they were there before, like Peter Glynn, who set up Mindset Central with Gareth and presented his first show. Now, let me just find the channel, right? Because there are some extra on SoundCloud. Somebody, a guy I know called Roger, has found some more. Where are they? Here we are. It's anti-door sessions on. Here we go on YouTube. Now we have here. So not YouTube. I'm not concentrating. SoundCloud. It's this guy here. Now if you go here, you can find some more of the first series. There we go. You can find more of the first series on there. And that includes some that I don't have. Like, including Program 1, the first ever program. With that amazing intro. I never asked Gareth, actually, how he did that intro. The music, the theme music with the sound spots in it. I didn't. Della said here, I was honoured to meet the mysterious Alex Fate once in Highgate. Yes. Oh, Della, I remember. We did meet him, and he didn't look like. See, I can't describe him because it's a top secret. What he looks like is top secret. But he had like this avatar, which is a kind of a careless android-like face. He doesn't look anything like his avatar. He really doesn't. Hello, Legend Real. How are you? And so that was how I came into it, but. The Highgate Vampire Symposium is very interesting. Oh, Jake Yorkman's. No, Jella, I will never describe Alex. No, honestly, I signed a security oath. I've signed non-disclosure agreements. Alex's appearance will never, ever be known. But he doesn't look like the android in his avatar. But Della and I met him. Yeah, I met Della there and David, her husband. I met them at the Highgate Vampire Symposium, and that's when I first actually came face to face with Gareth, though I'd known him by then for a number of years and never met him. I'd never met him until then, and we were overjoyed to see each other. It was really great. And it was in a pub. I remember it was a lovely pub, and we sort of hung around and we like drinking the night away. His brother was there. It was really cool. Yeah, Della says I made you sign one in blood once too. Yeah. Oh, Alex he's a very shy sort of person. Yeah, I'm still in touch with him. I did actually speak to him after Gareth passed away, and I informed him, and he knew already. He'd heard. Jake Yorkman said, "Ben, did you write your book on skeptics?" I'm not writing a book on skeptics, Jake. It would just simply be a cut and paste of my articles I've written on skeptics and the videos. So, well, I might do. I might do a fictionalized version. In fact, I'm sort of working on that now. I'm working on kind of fictionalized skeptic thing, which is going to be part of my new novel, The Obscurati Chronicles. Yeah, Della says, the brotherly happy vibe is bursting through the screen in that little video of you and Gareth and Highgate. Della, it's wonderful to see it. Yeah, I've been watching it again. It's really very poignant. It's become more precious, as is often the case. Charles from Project Camelot, never use your own blood. It's legally binding. I know, Charles, you use other people's, don't you? But, oh, yes, it's really... I've been editing. In fact, I'll upload probably another couple tonight. I've been editing together the original Series 1 Mindset podcasts, just into videos, turning them into videos, just with a little illustration. Hello, we now have Israel Diego Rivera 2 Genius 2, the real genius. Hello, how are you? British Bigfoot, I know. Boris Johnson, yeah. Jake Yorkman, I've read Roswell Rising, loved it, only the first one. Hey Jake, thank you very much, I'm glad you did, mate, I'm glad you did. Do go get Roswell Revealed and Roswell Redeemed, because I'm sure you'll like them too. Knowledge Lives Matter says they're skeptics and they're cynics. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Charles says, you're not writing about skeptics, are you, Ben? Nice headphones there you got. Shame if anything were to happen to them. I know, Charles, I know. You'll take care of them, won't you? You'll take care of them. But it's really quite amazing, because I'm just doing little illustrations. I'm putting I've just created a little, basically just a car, like an image in it. It just says Ben on the. It just says the Mindset Podcast Series 1. Ben Emlyn-Jones on the Mindset Podcast Series 1, and this is my collection, my own personal collection. I'm publicising on Facebook and anywhere else I can, and there's I think there's about 150 of them. I'm not sure, because some of them are like A and B, because I numbered them after my. I'll just tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly how many I've got. 147, 148, 149, 150. Yes, exactly 150. I've got 150 episodes of the first series of the Mindset Podcast. All the ones with me in. Do you know what? I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm saying this now. I actually was going to delete them. Man. I was thinking of doing it. I might have done it. Which is just... now, that sounds like an absolute travesty. These things are now so precious. I'd have been... oh, God. Just imagine. Hello, Johnny K. Kind of got a Mitchell Brothers look today. That's right. I'm the clever one. The one who's less stupid, yeah. Which ain't saying much. I know, I normally wear a hat always, because you see, I've got a big... you just see the big bright spot on my head there. That's because of the light that's above me. But I'm not going to wear a baseball cap with this nice shirt and tie. Charles says it should do it more often. He should do it more often. It suits him. Well, special occasions, Charles, only. Charles says I should put them on CDs for donation to charity. I know, I've said there is like a fund, which is for Gareth's family, which is now being given to the family. The fund's now closed. Matthew Williams is organising that. And that they raised over £600. Hello, Tina. Tina Silver, how are you? Hello, Brian Clare. Hey, how you going? How you doing, guys? Nice to see you. Nice to see you both. Diego asked, what's the tallest alien species? I don't know. I'm not sure. That's quite something. But that's a good question. Now, if any of you have any recordings from the Mindset Podcast that you downloaded, especially from the first series, which is no longer available, don't throw it away. Keep it. If you don't want to publish it yourself, send it to me or send it to Roger. I can pass it on to Roger. I posted you the link, didn't I, to Gareth's first ever episode. It's 151 minutes. The one he did with Peter Glynn. Yeah. Oh man. And he's got episode 2, episode 4, episode 5. All right. And then he's also mirrored some of the. He's mirrored a few of the second series, which is great. But really, it's the first series we're looking for. The second series can still be downloaded. And I've downloaded as many of them as I can. Wayback, use the Wayback Machine. Oh, right. Charles. Yeah, that's... hello, yeah. Hello. Wayback Machine. Would it be on there? I'm not sure. I'll try it. Let's just have a look. Oh, archive.org. Wayback.archive. I wonder if he has an archive.org page. Let's just have a look. Because I was just thinking, there's 609 billion web pages. Goodness me. I've just done a search. It's possible. Yeah, Gareth has an Internet Archive page. I don't know. The mindsets.com, Mindset Central. There's so many here. Mindsetcentral.com. Let's have a look. Right. Right. Oh, it's just all it has here are the existing website. Older posts. I don't know how far it goes. That's all that's on here. See, Gareth. I mean, maybe Gareth had his own. He had his own like storage. He may have his own. He may have had the files on his own storage space, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get hold of them. I don't know if we will be able to. I know there's a lady I'm in touch with, a friend of the family, who is basically looking after Gareth's possessions and doing what she can with them. I mean, she sent a few things to certain people who wanted one of his books, but she's trying to redistribute it without throwing anything away. For example, I suggested to her that because Gareth had about 1,000 books on UFOs and paranormal stuff, and I suggested seeing if any local UFO and paranormal societies would take it if anyone wanted them. Gareth recently joined the local UFO club. There's also MUFON. MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, is actually based in Orange County, which is right next door to Los Angeles. Hello, Sunshine Dragon, how are you? And hello, the Black Vault, who's Matthew. Thank you. Matthew, we're just talking about you, about the money you raised. About, you raised over £600, which has been donated to the family. There's going to be a memorial service, and a lot of it will be paid for with that, which is going to be in Swansea. I know some of you are going to go to that. I'll be there, certainly. I'll be there. Erica might be interested, says Charles. Oh, is that Erica Lukes? She might be. Yeah, she's got a bookshelf. I mean, she always has like a. Whenever she does her broadcast, she has a bookshelf behind her. So she might be. Yeah. But he's got such a collection. It would be a shame if there's DVDs, there's books. If you want anything, I mean, I know that. This lady, Sandra, is dealing with it. Oh, right, yeah, she might be, Charles. I don't know if I can contact her. She's a friend on Facebook. I don't remember friending her, but she's a friend on Facebook. I'll ask her. So, hope Orange counts as a Trump. Is that another joke about his tan? Yeah. Right, Charles. I will mention it to her because I'll mention it to this lady, Sandra, as well. But I know that what we would really like to have is all his old archives from the Mindset Central. I don't know if it's possible to get those. Oh, Charles will have a word. Thanks, Charles. You have a word with her. Thanks, mate. I'll have a word with Sandra. We'll put them in touch. This lady Sandra is a friend of Gareth's in the local area who's been helping me. She's been enormously helpful. She's very positive. She's been very she's actually been a bit of a breath of fresh air because I don't want to say too much, but not everyone in the local area has been particularly supportive of this. And it's nice that there is someone. Hello, David Roberts. How do you do, by the way? Hello, David. I was going to say not everyone in the local area has been 100% supportive over this issue, and having someone in the area who's sympathetic has been absolutely brilliant. Charles says, Erica hired me because of a troll problem. Seriously, really? All right. Did you give him the old Charles treatment? Now, yeah, I noticed that because I noticed you get some pieces of shit like appearing in her live streams and things like that. I've noticed that. Yeah, you get those people. And it's. I wish that didn't happen, but you get this. The internet is a paradise of free speech, and despite all attempts to destroy that, I know they're trying to. It's not going to work. But this unfortunately means, and funny enough, the censors don't mind it. The people who are trying to stop people like us talking. Hello, Steve Wills. How you doing? The people who are trying to stop people like us talking about things, the people who banned some of my videos and things like that, and kicked some of my videos off. Yeah, it's same ones we get. It's in hand for real. Charles, I'm glad, mate. I'm glad that happens. I know she has. I know. I think I might have seen you in her live streams. I've seen you in Alien Scientist's live stream, Jeremy Riss, and I really like. I watch his recordings. I like his videos, but he always streams like when I'm asleep in bed, because he streams late at night, and he lives in the eastern United States, which means that's like late at night for me is like 3 a.m. Late at night for him is 3 a.m. for me, and I'm in bed asleep. Nihilist lives matter. Some people have freer speech than others. Yeah, it's like I said in my last video. We're all equal, but some people are more equal than others. Yeah. The free speech. This is an issue we discussed a lot on The Mindset because Gareth was very much a libertarian. The free speech issue. I mean, the problem. What happens is that the internet has become a paradise for people who's. When it comes to free speech, they just like upsetting other people. They like going around to other people and calling them names, saying rude things and aggressive things to them. Sometimes it gets criminal, and they'll say things that are threatening and things like that. And they do that. They do that to people. As you know, if you're a regular viewer, you know my clashes with Droik, whoever he, she, or they were. I think there's more than one of them, that's for certain. It's a paradise for them too, but not anymore, because Charles says it's free to say, but there are consequences for doing it. Yeah, well, Charles is onto them now. I'll tell you what, there's some of them deserve it. I mean, I love this. There's a couple of those like Sting videos where I like they those Sting videos they do for like the paedophile hunters and people like that. There's a couple who track down. There's a couple who track down the internet trolls in the same way and confront them on the streets, and they are like they turn into lumps of jelly the moment they suddenly find themselves having to deal with someone face to face in real life. They're all full of bravado when they're online. Internet balls, Larry Warren calls it. When they have the impunity of a keyboard and monitor and anonymity behind them. Oh, they're all as mouthy as hell when that happens. But they cannot cope with conflict in the real world because they're cowards. Look at it. All the aggravation Team Droid gave me for all those years. I said, okay, let's meet up. And they said, yeah, I'll meet you anytime, mate. Well, you watch the video, you'll see what happened. You'll see what happened. So yeah, and these are a lot of the people they target are people far more vulnerable than I. I'm a big ugly ex-hospital porter, which means I'm when it comes to sort of like toughness, I'm second only from Charles. So and I've got the bald head, so I'm sort of catching up with him. So it doesn't really bother me much. I mean, I did have to call the police at one point because they were basically saying defamatory things that could have got back to people. So I did call the police, but you know. they attack far gentler, people than I. And they do it without a qualm. And it's nice to see these people get their comeuppance. Nihilist Lives Matter says here, did you see the amazing atheist's hot take on free speech? I haven't, but Styx Hexenhammer did a couple of videos about that. That's Kirk, what's his name, isn't it? Yeah, he... is that the guy? Is that the kangaroo guy? The guy with the kangaroo avatar? Which one's the amazing atheist? Is it the kangaroo guy? Or is it the guy with the blonde hair? I can't remember. Richard Kinsit, never met Gareth, but a true Renaissance man, a gent. He was indeed, he really is, Richard. And you know what? Because he left us he did so much, which has been recorded. And so we're going to make as much of it as available to you as possible. I'm doing my own part in that. I really am. Which means that you can now you can discover him. People, long after he is gone from this world, people will rediscover him for as long as the electronic medium endures. Charles says, the one we spoke about privately is now a police matter. He won't bother you again anytime soon. Ah, thanks, Charles. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Della says, you aren't ugly, you're cute. Huh? Oh, thank you, Della. Diego Rivera, what about Team Bigfoot? Right, yes, the Bigfoot thing. Oh, there's aggravation within the Bigfoot community, if that's what you mean. There's always rivalry between different teams, and you get a lot of conflict between people who have different ideas. For example, Deborah Hatswell, who spoke to this conference. Now she got into quite an argument with someone else who disagreed with her about the nature of Bigfoot. I remember that. It became quite heated. It never became criminal or anything like that, but it was obviously very heated. It became quite personal, and it went very public. But this does happen everywhere. T.J. Kirk, Johnny, thank you very much. It was T.J. Kirk, yeah. Nihilist Lives Matter says, to be fair, Matthew Kelly was a victim of pedo hunters. Who's Matthew Kelly? I don't know. Woody Black, the fat guy with the beard. I know who you mean now, yes. Blonde hair, that's him, yes. Right, yes, the Woody Black's, the kangaroo guys, atheism is unstoppable, that's right. And you know what? It's been hit... For some reason, the message has been blocked. I can see it, but it doesn't appear on YouTube. So obviously it's probably because he's been banned. The amazing atheist is the fat guy with a banana fetish. Yeah, that's him. Sticks bananas in strange places. Oh my goodness me, I don't like it. Johnny K says, I watched the new Candyman film yesterday. I enjoyed it. Oh right, I've not seen that. The one with Sammy Davis Jr. was it not? What's his name? Not Sammy Davis Jr. What's that actor's name? I hate when I can't remember things. Candyman. All right, I'm gonna look. I can't bear it when this happens. Bloody, right. Where is it? Hang on. What's the name of the actor? Damn it. Keith Potts. Hi, Ben. R.I.P. Gareth. Mrs. Livestreams. Thanks. Yeah. Matthew Kelly, the puppet. No, not the TV guy. The kids' TV guy. All right. Tony Todd. Oh, man. What? Hang on. What's his name? What's his bloody name? Hang on. Black guy. Big ears. Hang on, I know another film he was in. Hang on. I said Sammy Davis Jr. It's not. What's his name? It's Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, damn. I'm sorry. I said Sammy Davis Jr. Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, he was in it. Now that one is really good. That one's really good, and I don't like remakes. I don't. No, I don't. User 1, Ben, would you consider doing Paratalk with Reeves? Reeves and I have spoken about this. Reeves is going to continue in another. I mean, I don't. It'll be very different, I think, when Reeves does it on his own. I'd like to be involved with that. Yes, I'd like to be on his show. I wouldn't be on anything that's too much like what the Mindset was, because that's kind of Gareth's, and I think the actual Mindset franchise is something we need to draw a line under, because it's his thing. Crafty, hello, Crafty Nice. 2 more people have joined, even though it only counts as 1 viewer. Ben, we are on our way home. Be joining you soon. Sorry we've missed the beginning. Hey, no problem, Crafty. No problem. Yeah, Nihilist says atheism is unstoppable. Is blocked in chat. I mean, I'm just saying. I just said it. Does that mean this video is going to be deleted? Well, look, I've got record going on OBS as well as stream. So if this stream vanishes, I've got the recording, and I'll put it up on my alt text sites. But why? What's wrong with saying atheism is unstoppable? I know he's banned from YouTube, but it's just a name, for goodness sake. Have I missed anyone? So yes, to answer the question, user 1, Paratalk, I think Reeves is going to produce now independently, and yes, I'd like to be involved in that, as long as it's different, as long as it is very different. And Nihilist says Matthew Kelly was arrested years ago on child charges. Frank Skinner ripped into him. Then Kelly was pronounced innocent. All right, yeah. Yes, I remember Maiden Fan. I remember him on. Was it Game for a Laugh? He used to do the tall bearded guy who hosts Stars in Their Eyes. Yeah, he was Game for a Bath with Jeremy Beadle. Yeah, I'm showing my age now. I remember that show. But yeah, he was found innocent. The problem is this sort of thing never goes away, does it? I mean, look at Michael Jackson. I mean, people just say, yeah, most people I know thought Michael Jackson was guilty, even when he was actually prosecuted, went to court, and was found innocent on all counts. They still go on about it. They still assume he was guilty. Hello, Graham Murray. How are you? What is your opinion on the future of this country? Could go either way, mate. Could go either way. But I'm taking precautions. I've put up an article on Panmo Voice announcing that I'm learning Russian. Yes. Ja, Ben. Это Graham. Da. Dom ni Graham. Niet. Nie Dom Graham. That's all I've learned so far. I'm learning Russian. Yeah. And that's why, because I might have to go and live in Russia one day, the way things are going. Because Russia is quite... if you notice that the New World Order agenda's not working very well in Eastern Europe, it seems to be more advanced in Western Europe. So I'm thinking that maybe a time could come when I really just can't live here anymore, because I'll end up in jail, and I'll be the conspiraspherical George Blake, or or Kim Philby. I'd have to flee to Russia. Yeah. Sunshine Dragon, does Reeves have a YouTube channel? He has a... oh, God. I don't think he does at the moment. He's on Twitter. He doesn't have YouTube right now. Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Hello, Steve, and anyone else from that show who's listening or watching. Thank you very much indeed. Johnny K says, you should watch the new Candyman. It's an amazing deconstruction of urban legends. Okay, is it actually different from the one with Samuel L. Jackson? Because if it's just a remake and they've just got, because that was so good, the one with Samuel L. Jackson as the ghostly serial killer. Gunther has. Ben, have you ever been to the States? The United States? No, I haven't. Monopod BS. Sorry, I'm late. Not to worry, Monopod. Not to worry, mate. Charles says, funny how they settle out of court. I thought they wanted justice. Celebrity shakedown. All right. Being a middle-aged man with funfair in your front yard does raise eyebrows, to be fair. It does a bit, yeah, I suppose, yeah. Although, I know, it's a bit kind of, it's odd. I mean, this is why I said, like, we'd be useful if we had some kind of tribunal system for sorting things out. Yes. Who else is here? There's more people coming in. Genius says more people like Anne Widdecombe are calling Biden senile. Yeah, that's good. Good. You know, if she is. Well, she's not. She's quite sort of like. She's not more senile, but she's very spurgy, isn't she? And I like Anne Widdecombe. She did a lot of. She was very good over Brexit. So she's a bit spurgy. She tends to say what she thinks. But you know, it's just so obvious now. The guy was just like. He does this thing where he walks away from the podium whenever someone asks him a question. He walked in the wrong direction. He couldn't even remember how to get out of the press briefing room. It's incredible. Diego Rivera, will he step down? I think he's going to have to. I mean, they can't keep up this pretense any longer. They could get an actor to play him, of course. I mean, they've done. You know, we could have a Prisoner of Zenda situation where he's played by some kind of actor. But it's more likely they'll have to get rid of it, which means, of course, the vice president becomes president, which is, of course, Kamala Harris, and of course that's not going to make much practical difference because they're controlled by the same people. The problem with Kamala Harris is she's more credible. She has a working brain, and of course the wokists are going to go into like they can do circles in the ground, aren't they? Because they've got a woman of color as president. So she'll have that honeymoon period, which will probably mean she can just get away with anything. Greymar says, thanks for the funny answer. That's one thing they can't take, mate, our sense of humour. Humour is a very, very important thing, because it's... Without it, I'd go crazy, I think, yeah. Charles says, Biden declined fast. He came to speak at Lynn YMCA, and he was nothing like he is now. You know, Charles, you know, even since, like, he became, quote-unquote, president, he's gone downhill, hasn't he? He's worse than he was during the debates and things. Gina says, is Biden set up as Neville Chamberlain? I think he's like he was just someone they crowbarred in just because they wanted to get rid of Trump. It was simple as that. They crowbarred him in. What can I say on YouTube? They in the completely fair and square election, he won fair and square without any cheating, and now they couldn't find anyone else, and now he's like, it just shows how desperate they are. This is why you shouldn't give up. I mean, there's a lot of people blackpilling at the moment, but really, when you look at the mistakes, the powers that be, the New World Order, look at the mistakes they're making. Look how limited their abilities are. Since 2016, 2016 has never really gone away. This whole pandemic thing is just their response to it. It's their retaliatory strike. Charles says 4 years ago he's really sharp. Yeah, he was actually in the Senate, wasn't he? He was actually. I've watched some videos of him from the past. And you can see he was at one point quite a with it kind of guy. I mean, there's even a speech he made in the 80s when he first ran for president, and he's actually, you can see he had a brain. He was intelligent. He had a high IQ, I'd say. No, it says Biden's facelift has squished the memory center of his noggin. Yeah. Gunther says, big meet-up in Point Bush, New York this week. Dolan, Lee Spiegel, Mark D'Antonio. Oh, I'd love to... Gunther, I'd love to join you, mate. I mean, as I said earlier, I've been saving up money for the Roswell Festival. I've been working through the lockdown. I was actually going to jump on a plane and go and see Gareth. I was going to visit him. Then I realised, no, you've got to go through these tests. You've got to self-isolate. Interestingly, whether you've been V-worded or not, you've still got to go through that. So all these people who said, "Oh, I'll get V-worded and I'll be free, and any future restrictions will not apply to me. I will walk around with impunity and I'll say, leave me alone. I've been V-worded. I'm free." And they said that's one of the reasons why people got it done. And now the government is saying, "No, it doesn't matter if you're V-worded. You get 2 days off your social isolation period. It's a 10-day period, but you get 2 days less if you're V-worded." I'm thinking of that line from that song by the Christians, Hooverville. sung by the Christians. Like fools, we believed every last word they said. They promised us the world in Hooverville. And like fools, we believed every last word they said. Yeah. Charles, nice guy surrounded by schmucks. Which is which, Charles? No, this lives matter. Biden is literally Grandpa Simpson. Just waiting for him to tie an Orion to his belt. Oh, what a lousy 1,000 years that was. Charles spoke to Biden. And he was, yeah. It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. Gunther Patch. Ben, just drive down on the Titanic Parkway. You'll see things. Is that a UFO hotspot, Gunther? Woody Black says they test at the airport if a spoon sticks to your head. If it does, they let you in. Oh, that's all those... I forgot the word now. They got in it. It supposedly has in the V word. I've got the name of the thing. I probably can't even say it on YouTube. I've known people, actually, who metal sticks to them. But not for that reason. Hudson Valley Central. Right, Gunther. Do you know what? Larry Warren comes from that area, and he said there was like UFO flaps in that place. Because I forgot the town he lived in, but it's somewhere in the upper Hudson Valley, New York State, and there's been, and I've heard from other people, lots and lots of UFO flaps in that area. Definitely. Oh. Richard says Bruce Forsyth touring a nursing home reminds me of Biden. He goes up to the oldest residents. Do you know who I am, dear lady? Ask matron, she'll tell you. Apollo Detectives. Hello, how are you? Ben, I'll be recording a new series with Marcus and Scott beginning next weekend. Keep up the great work. Oh, thanks, Apollo. Are you Neil? Oh, right, brilliant. Let me know if you want me to join you. I'd be glad to. I'd be glad to join you. Charles, that proves it. UFO flaps means they're all geese. Well, one of them was supposed to be. There was a series of. There was an object or series of objects seen in the formation of a V, which of course is how. That's how geese fly, and the report was that it was lights basically reflecting off the bellies of the geese as they flew. But the witnesses said that it couldn't be that, but not sure. No, Alice says, I wonder if he was coked up on the uppers in his early career to give him an edge. He should. Yeah. Nihilist, he says he shouldn't be seen like 77, normally mid-80s. It could happen at any time. I mean, I know people who are like in their 70s who get some dementia and it actually hits you, you know. But I think they gave him. I think they gave him something during the campaign. Now, a lot of people said his eyes turned black during the campaign. They thought he might be one of the black-eyed people, but it's more likely they gave him something that dilated his pupils, which meant that when on the TV camera, it made his entire eye appear black. Because if you give you lots, it can cause your pupils to dilate, so your pupils get really wide, like they do in darkness. Michelle Sovereign. Hi, Ben. I love you. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Steve Wills. Hello. Gareth, Ben. I did a Mindset show when the peculiar changing shape of Biden's head was discussed. Can you remember that, Ben? Yes, I can. That was odd, wasn't it? That was a weird one. Diego Vera asks, would humans stop aliens' destruction? I don't know, Diego Vera. Obviously, I hope so. They seem to be very interested in our nuclear weapons, and they can do sort of things like that. Sunshine says, I've never seen light reflection off the bellies of the geese who fly over us every year. I know, but this is like it's the weather balloon thing, isn't it? It's the clown's day off fallacy. You just come up with anything off the top of your head. What about Michael Gove's dancing? He looked high, says Genius. He looked like a twat. He really did. Matthew asked, do you have any updates on the Capel Green documentary? I am in regular contact with the cast. The premiere date has not been selected. And I know that sounds like old hat now, doesn't it? But believe it or not, it's still an active project that is in production. It's still there, and it's going to arrive. For people who say, "Oh, it's been," if someone said it's been forgotten, it's been left, and no one's interested in it. No, it hasn't. It's not been cancelled. The film is still in production. It's going to come out. I got sparkling water today with my dragon juice. Someone left me this. Someone left me this. So this was in the kitchen, and someone said, "You can have it," with a letter saying, "Yeah, take it, Ben." So I'm taking it. Michelle says, "Somebody praising you is also somebody being judgmental. The difference is that you like the verdict this time." That's from Nitya Prakash. All right. That's Michelle. That's very wise. Yeah. Crafty's home. Hello, Crafty. How are you? Gunter Haas says, weather balloons filmed with swamp gas. Yes. Oh, man. This Gunter, the stuff they come up with, I mean, the clown's day off fallacy is like... You see, the problem with the clown's day off fallacy is it can be used for anything. It could be used... You literally just have to imagine something. Anything. As I discussed in my skeptic video. Gerald Jones, what's the airspeed velocity of a laden swallow? I don't know. I know they fly quite fast. Benji84, good name. Did you hear about Robert David Steele passing? Yeah. I did find out about that. It's been odd, actually. I mean, Simon Parks hasn't said anything about it yet, I don't think. Last time I checked his channel or his website, but he'll probably say something about it. I don't know exactly what the details are. I know he passed away. We've lost a lot of people lately. We've lost a lot of them. Mark McCandlish is also passed away. And Ning Lee, we found out, it was actually Alien Scientist did a video about this. Ning Lee's died. Ning Lee is this Chinese lady who's a scientist who investigated anti-gravity. It's very interesting because she was at this university, and then she founded her own company, which she then shut down. However, she seemed to disappear. However, people could get in touch with her, and eventually a close friend managed to call her, and she said she's involved with classified work for the U.S. Department of Defense. Yeah. Michelle Sovereign. Did Ben say it's the clown's day off? He's hilarious. The clown's day, yeah. Michelle, the clown's day off fallacy is, I describe in my skeptic video. Well, especially, I think you've got to watch Truth Seekers Northeast 5, and you'll hear me discuss exactly what the clown's day off fallacy is. But this is basically what the goose explanation for these UFOs was. Lime Specs, hello. Hey, only an hour late. Not bad. That's cool, but that's cool. I'm still here. Gunther says, what do you think is the major reason the government won't release ET info? There's several. I think it's partly it's a cultural psychological thing. They can't have us. They have to make us believe we're alone in the universe for cultural psychological reasons. But also, it's to do with the energy issue. It's to do with the fact that, you see these things flying around. If we admit they're real, people are going to ask, well, how are they doing it? They don't have wings, they don't have envelopes, they don't have rotors, they don't have jets or propellers. What are they doing? And that's going to lead to questions the government doesn't want you to ask. They don't want you to ask why these things occur. This is like being on the mindset doing this, actually, because Gareth used to ask me these questions. Diego Rivera, most stars are red dwarfs, therefore have lower visible light. Does this explain the large eyes of the greys? It's Diego Rivera. It might do because these creatures obviously come from a habitat which probably has a low gravitational field because they seem to be lightly built, and the large eyes indicates lack of light. You see this with animals on Earth. Nocturnal creatures tend to have large eyes. Gunther Haas, the Brookings report said we can't handle the truth. That's right. They did indeed. they basically they recommended that it should not be talked about. Especially, they mentioned specifically even artifacts of past civilizations, such as on Mars, for example. If Mars had complex life in the distant past, any traces of that life should be kept secret. Yeah, or should be. You can't keep it secret, but you can control the narrative. Charles from Project Hamlet says, "By the gods and my cock." How many times do I have to say it? Greys were invented in 1809 by Washington Irving as invaders from the moon. Oh, of course, yes, the Selenites. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. But it's not invented, Charles. This came up when Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out. Greys appear in science fiction. I mean, however, Colin Woolford did his talk about this at Watford. Sometimes science fiction writers, believe it or not, portray creatures that actually exist. And the Greys are a good example of this. Number one fan said, "Hi Ben, sorry I'm late. Not to worry. How you doing, number one fan?" Gunther, energy. Didn't think of that reason. Makes sense. Yeah. Gunther, check out my energy, politics and UFOs videos. Or better still, buy Roswell Rising. Ray Whelan, they want to keep the power structure. Hi, Ray, exactly. Gunther says, didn't Churchill say the churches would collapse? He said that there'd be mass panic among the population, which, again, it shows what incredibly a low opinion these elitists have of the general population. They think we're like a combination of children and farm animals. Oh, we can't do anything that will scare them. They'll panic. Oh, yeah. This is after what? Interesting. He said this just a couple of years after World War II, where the British public actually showed an enormous amount of bravery and stoicism. We had bombs dropping on our heads. We had rationing. We had many of us were sent off to fight in foreign fields, and perhaps never come back. Or women used to lose their husbands, their sons, their fathers, and we did it with enormous bravery. Yet 2 years after this happened, Churchill says, if we tell the truth about these aliens, people will panic. It just goes to show what dynamite they think these things are. Charles, Washington Irving, The Men of the Moon, 1809. Yeah, no, right. I was thinking of the one right. That's a different song. That's a different story. I was thinking of the, what's it called? Hang on a minute. Thank goodness. Yes, I was thinking of The First Men in the Moon by H.G. Wells. This was actually 1900. So it's actually a lot later. It was almost a century afterwards. But this was a novel by H.G. Wells, which I was thinking of that one. But they have Selenites in that one as well. But but this other one, it's interesting that this earlier novel from almost 100 years earlier has the same thing. Charles says, all buildings collapse given enough time. Yeah, but some of them collapse quicker than others. Now, the pyramids of Egypt, for example, they're over 5,000 years old. If there are very, very, very robust, solid stone structures on Mars, for example, like the face and the pyramids, like the DNM pyramid and things like that, and the other things you've seen, then they would last a long time. Possibly even in the case of Mars, if for example, there was no rain and no wind and a very thin atmosphere as a result of what the changes that happened on Mars, billions of years, right up to the present day. Gunther says, I've heard Churchill loathed the general populace. I recommend reading a book by another Irving, David Irving. He's written a book called Churchill's War, which I actually read a long time ago, which it demolishes the entire mythology surrounding that guy. Hello, Ed Kaler, how are you? How are you going, guys? I'm going to pour some more of my dragon juice with sparkling water. to see it. It makes a nice change, actually. It does make a very nice change. It's going to go flat, though, eventually, of course. But I can enjoy. Oh, it's still sparkly. Yay. Charles says, diplomacy is the art of telling people to go to hell in such a way that they ask for directions. Winston Churchill. Is that a quote from the man himself? Yeah, Winston Churchill was a manic depressive. He was brought up, he was sent to boarding school. He never saw even from the age of 5, he was separated from his parents. He talked a lot about his depression. The fact that he hit the bottle, he used to drink heavily. He once said that he was on a ship at sea and he felt a sudden urge to climb over the side and jump in. So yeah, he was a terrible individual, you know. Nihilist says, look how they panicked over the I think when you say pandemic, we can't say what causes the pandemic, but we can say the word. Now imagine if these people learned about aliens, they'd stab each other over toilet roll, pasta, and pay as you go to top up cards. Yeah, oh, and of course there would be people who would respond like that, nihilists, not least because we've had over 70 years now of indoctrination about the extraterrestrial presence, which says they've been telling us it's a joke for more than 70 years now. 70, oh, blimey, close to 80 years now. Are they going to suddenly... Then they suddenly changed that. Yes, there are very deep cultural roots created by the truth embargo that are going to be cut away very suddenly by disclosure. And some people will react better than others. I personally, well, you know how I will react, obviously, but a lot of people won't like it. Monopod BS says there was a good presentation at Truth Seekers Northeast by John Harmer about Churchill a couple of weeks ago. The video was on Maureen's channel. Oh, I'll check that out, Monopod, definitely. Michelle says most people who are criticising and judging haven't even tried what you failed at, David Coggins. Ain't that a fact? Yes. Della says, just came back from the room and thought you were talking about Gareth. He hit the bottle. Was a terrible individual, except... Hey, Della, we're talking about Winston Churchill, but, you know, I think Gareth would appreciate that joke. Gunther says, I always wonder if the ET issue will be released by some small country. We will always look to the US and the UK for disclosure. It will come from left field. You watch. Gunther, that's what I think is most likely. I mean, Steve Bassett takes a polar opposite view to me on many things, and I think he's now sort of got hope with the United States again when he lost it during the Trump era. I personally think that we need to look now at the moment until the rightful, the rightful official who is currently, I've got to be careful what I say now. There's an official within the government of the United States who has been wrongfully and criminally removed from office. We have to wait until that particular individual is back in his rightful place, and then I think things will happen. Until that happens, I don't see us making any progress. But, you know, as other countries, like I said, there's many other countries that have these secrets. They're obeying the global policy for now, but how much longer? Nihilist Lives Matter. Imagine if the aliens showed up in MAGA hats. Oh, I bet they will. I tried putting one on Russell, but he kept falling over. Charles says, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. Tom Waits, yes. Nihilists, haven't Brazil acknowledged the existence of aliens? Not in a red line way, to quote Richard Dolan. However, nihilists, they have their own brushes with ET encounters, and sometimes they have some of the more sinister and horrible ones. But they had a major crash retrieval event in 1996, I believe, the Virginia incident, where aliens were literally seen wandering the streets of the city. It was quite something. It was really quite something. Oh, I just it could it really. I think I think possibly, as I said, we got to look to the east, Eastern Europe, Russia in particular, appears to be the weakest, certainly the weakest point of the New World Order right now. I don't know if you ever listened to my interviews on Paranormal Radio with Nick Hollister about the Navalny scandal and things like that. It's the globalists are really giving Russia a hard time now. Putin is really being dragged across the coals. I think he is like Trump. He really is. There could be a time when for people like us cannot live in Western Europe, and if that happens, it's possible that Russia or some other countries will offer political asylum to us, which is why I'm keeping that option open. That's why I'm learning the Russian language. If I can get a working knowledge of the language before I go there, I'll be a huge advantage. Ja, Ben. Eta mama, eta papa, eta don papa. Yet. Ja, mia mama. I'm learning little bits at a time. The tricky thing with Russian is it's learning to write, because Russian doesn't. I've never learned a language before that doesn't use the Latin script. Russian, you sing Russian. That the Russian script is called Cyrillic, and I've got to learn these new symbols and what they mean, and that'll take some time, but I'll get the hang of it. Charles, that was closing time at Walmart. Easy mistake to make. Oh, you mean Virginia? Mr. Grey Owl, Mr. Grey 9 Owl, hello. Hi Ben, pleasure to be here live. I've been catching the broadcasts after the fact lately. Oh, thanks Mr. Grey Owl. I think I've seen your comments. No less lives matter. The vagina incident. Now you have my attention. Virginia. It's in Brazil. It's like a town. These aliens were like wandering the streets, and these girls saw them. These girls wandering past, 3 girls, and they saw this alien, and they ran home and they told their mum. And the mum, she's a brave lady, you know. She says, "No alien's going to mess with my girl." She grabbed her rolling pin and she went to sort it out. But the creature had gone by the time she got there. Those 3 girls now. Well, this is now, over 25 years ago. So they're grown women now. Guess what? They stand by their story. They said they still maintain their story, just like the witnesses to the Rua incident, just like the witnesses to the Westall incident. Steve Wills, hi Steve. Notice you have a pack of PG tips behind you, Ben. Yes, I do, yes. The collector's card that used to come with them in the 70s and 80s. There was a 40-in collection, Unexplained Mysteries of the World. Really? Oh, well, they don't have the cards anymore, but, I remember those cards, but I didn't know they had, mysteries. No, Les, I don't see Russia welcoming Westerners in. Same thing as Californians moving to Texas, but on steroids. Well, who knows where the political landscape is going to go? I'm going to do what I can in this uncertain world. It could be that it won't be necessary. I mean, it's a worst-case scenario. Things could improve in the next 5 and 10 years, or 10 years. Hello, 69 Phuket. Ben, I had binos on a UFO Saturday evening. Must have been the size of a ship. Upright black pudding rotating with a cutout near the top. A helicopter flew away from it. Oh, man. You saw it? Did you get any photos? Mr. Grey Owl, it's interesting how the political pendulum swings back and forth over time. I agree that there will come a time when Russia is the free society we need to flee to. That's it. It's a possibility. It's certainly a possibility, yeah. Nihilist, what an excuse from getting home late. Sorry, Mum, it was aliens. I wonder if anyone will actually believe this. That's actually happened, people have actually said things like that. And they've been laughed at. I mean, the kids at Rua told the teachers, and they didn't believe them at first. Later on, they did, but at first they thought, this is another kids' game. Michel says, Gareth Davies was one of a kind. May he haunt all the haters in his spare time. Oh, Michel, I'm sure he will. He's given what they deserve, yeah. Diego Rivera, what about the James Webb Telescope? It's due for launch in October. Well, that's going to be used for planet hunting, yeah, so there'll be some more planets, Diego Rivera. But we already know, as I said in my SETI video, more than 70% of our planets, up to 17% of stars have Earth-like planets. That's an awful lot of places where life can emerge, isn't it? Gunther says, we always need an enemy to control the populace. Well, Gunther, that's what they believe, yeah. It's like 1984, George Orwell. War has to be continuous. It's never won or lost, it's continuous. Maiden Fan 71, have you seen the YouTube video about the guy who woke in a hospital bed in 2027 and everywhere is void of people or animals? He publishes on TikTok and people suggest where he should go. I've not seen. No, Maiden, I've not. TikTok seems to attract like some of the weirdest kind of people. It really does. 69 Fuka, only on my phone. It was miles away. All right. Well, unfortunately, photographic evidence doesn't carry the weight it used to, and indeed. Unless you have like something like Win Keach does, it's just not worth borrowing. It's not worth bothering, Mr. Grey Owl says, did you catch the newest Luis Elizondo interview? Is that the one with Kurt Joy Mungle of The Theory of Everything? Or because that's the last one I heard. That was like about a week ago. Charles says, Ben saw Nick Pope turn green and start talking in a weird dialect. Aliens. Well, that would explain a lot, wouldn't it? That would, Charles, indeed. Gunther, Gareth seemed to have lost his accent, but loved it when he broke into his English pub voice. He could still do the Welsh accent, like his family did. But of course, he lived in the United States, I think, for certainly since like he was quite young. I think he went over there like when he was 20 something. Excuse me, Mr. Grey Owl. Nice to have Lou back in the mix. I was getting worried that maybe there was a hit out on him. He seems to be still quite determined. I mean, he's talking about running for office. Of course, he's been accused of being a shill. That was inevitable. No one's actually produced any real evidence against him, actually. Nobody. I think we should be wary. We shouldn't just assume that he's for real. We should just be wary of what he says. But I don't do this... Oh, everyone's a shill, he's a shill, she's a shill, everyone's a shill, and things like that. So, I'm interested to see. I always follow his work, so I'll check that out, Mr. Grey Owl. Oh, there's a newer one than the Joy Mungle one. Right, you are. Mr. Grey Owl's going to post a link. That's cool. Nice. James Webb Telescope is sexist and lacks diversity. We need a Diane Abbott telescope. Nice, we could have a Diane Abbott telescope, but it would have a lot of trouble focusing, and it would probably miscount the number of planets. We'd probably have like about 20 extra planets at some point. Gunther says, my opinion is out on Elizondo. Fair enough, Gunther. Yeah, I think that's how we have to entertain it without necessarily accepting it. Right, shifting the paradigm. Thank you. I'll just look that up now before I forget. So it sounds familiar. Do I sub? Am I sub to it? Yes, I am. Oh, Christina Gomez. Oh, right. Oh, it's her. Yes. Oh, right. Yeah, here it is. It's 4 days ago. Lou Elizondo. Right. Oh, I watch her all the time. Yes, I watch her all the time. She's very good. She was part of the live stream, she was part of the Phone Home live stream. That's why. Yes, I didn't realise it was her. Sorry. I'll check that out, Mr. Grey Owl. Narlis says, wait, someone got called a shill? Never. I don't believe it. Yes, I think. Name someone who hasn't been called a shill by anyone else. Can you think of anyone? Grey out. Lou talks about a basic sensor system they're looking into will bring much more frequent and good data on UAPs. Right, Mr. Grau, because this is basically what Avi Loeb was saying. Avi Loeb and his project Galileo. That's what he's trying to do. I mentioned that in my last UFO disclosure video. Excuse me. I'll check that out, yeah. Gunther House. Where's Tom DeLonge been? I haven't heard much from him. TTSA is still going, but they really haven't lost... They really haven't survived the loss of their key figures, Mellon, Elizondo, Semivan. I mean, these people really were the workhorses of TTSA. Without them, they're still going. They still have a few people, such as Putoff and that. But there's really without those three that left, I don't know what they can do. I mean, they really are being eclipsed slightly. And I mean, I know that Elizondo said it was all they were on good terms. It was all amicable. Elizondo, I know, just wants, and so does Mellon, I think, want to focus more on a science-based attitude rather than media-driven. I think he felt that TTSA was being too media-orientated. That's what he said. In his interview with John Greenwald, that's what he said anyway. Charles, same old, he knows things, can't tell anyone. Yeah, well, what would you say? It's classified, mate, yeah. Well, unfortunately, he did actually say in his Kurt Joy Mungle interview, he will not betray his oaths. He said if at any point his oaths compel him to be quiet completely, he'll be quiet. He literally, a lot of people have attacked him, but he said, okay, you lose your pension then. You go to jail. This is literally the situation he's in. He's illegally compelled to keep silent about these things. I mean, I had to obey confidentiality rules at my hospital. But the worst that would happen to me if I went blabbing would be I'd be sacked, certainly, and I might be sued, but I probably wouldn't end up in jail. Lou Elizondo, I mean, can be for breaching your non-disclosure agreements when you do his kind of work, that is intelligence, military intelligence and surveillance and things like that, is extremely severe. You could be treated as a traitor or a spy, and oh goodness me, you could be executed for that still, you know. Crafty Knight says, I'm a shill, and so is my wife. Or both of you? I had suspicions about one of you two. I won't say which one, but not both of you. Mr. Gray says, and it says that Congress is now scheduled to get a UAP report every 90 days, including any info dating back to Roswell. Is it 90 days now, is it? That's all. That's good. That's come forward, because it was every 6 months. 90 days is roughly 3 months. But they've already received the first one, Mr. Grey Owl, including the classified annex, which Steve Bassett was talking about. And Steve Bassett says that he says at some point there's going to be a leak. Excuse me. Charles says, I say Richard D. Hall is a shill. Denounce me, Richard. I'm feeling left out. Richard, well, you know, Richard D. Hall would be the ultimate guy who doth protest too much, wouldn't he? He sees shills everywhere, but what if he were the shill? Maybe he wouldn't know. It's a very secretive thing being a shill. He wouldn't know if he was one. Adela, what's a shill? Conspirasphere terminology, Della. It means someone who's a secret agent who's working within the truth movement to spy on people and bring it down. There are real shills. I mean, Richard Doty is a self-confessed exposed shill, and he's admitted it. Intuitive Dice is sending a huge hug. Thanks, Intuitive. Much appreciated. Yeah, Mr. Grau, good analysis on TTSA, Ben. I think TTSA is also hemorrhaging money as well. Well, I think then they've been trying to raise money by, I think, quite dubious means. I mean, they wanted to fund this anti-gravity research project, and they didn't provide any real evidence that what this was all about. They wanted to crowdfund something they didn't even really explain properly, which to me that's bad practice, and I think people are right to be suspicious of that. Oh, Charles actually says it here himself. Well, the investors wanted to know what happened to the money for the spaceship. That might have had something to do with it, yeah. Gunther, TOA, he does good interviews, asks hard questions. Theory of everything. Oh, yes, he does. He does. He's even got the Jeremy Riss stamp of approval. and that's alien scientist. It's difficult to, because alien scientist he himself has a rather cynical view of the rest of the truth movement. I mean, his whole channel is about look at all these hoaxes. Other people have been taken in by them, and I haven't. But he likes Kurt, yeah. Genius. What would you do if you saw an alien in real life? Would you call the police? God, no way. I wouldn't call. What would I call the police for these days? I mean, what they do. I mean, if the number of crimes being unsolved is expanding. Yet, with some exceptions, for example, if you say politically incorrect things on the internet, then they send the bloody riot squad round for you. So yeah, I mean, there are many situations now I would never call the police, which possibly a few years ago I would have done. Mr. Grey Owl, what if Lou has... But think of what Lou has brought to the table. Tons of insight. Take it for what it's worth by listening to what he says between the lines. That's it. He's been criticised for... people say, well, he says so much without really... He says so much without really saying anything. That's one of his criticisms. But I don't think that's true. He's tiptoeing around his NDAs. But he's obviously doing this for a reason. Now, there's only two possibilities. He's for real or he's a shill. No one's actually provided any proof that he's a shill. People have looked into his background. They've worked out he is who he says he is. He was head of ATIP. He was at the DOD. People doubted that. People were saying, oh, he's made it all up. He was never in the DOD at all. Now we've found out that he is. I think we should give him a chance. Sunshine, why would you call the police on an alien if they didn't? Yeah. Well, the thing is, what would they do? They'd probably call the military. There'd be a cover up. The police would just go. You'd tell people not to say anything. Mr. Grey Owl, yep. Hope there's a leak. There's a lot of talk about still about more UAP vids we haven't seen. Yes, the high def long ones of the Tic Tac. Yeah, and there's supposed to be a triangle as well. Michelle, Ben, you look lovely. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Charles says, Stella, a shill is anyone who can think critically. Oh, in other words, critically about other truthers. Yes. Genius. Has Richard D. Hall thrown you out of his starship? Well, the recording of my interview is still there, but of course, I'm in his bad books now, like everyone is. Yeah. No, this says Ben took the last Kit Kat out of the Richard D. Hall starship. Well, I had to do something when I was leaving. I know I wouldn't be back. Charles, Ben, it takes billions to develop a small aircraft. Designing a real spaceship would bankrupt half the world. Yeah, that was a bit... You see, as Steve says here, TTSA is too entertainment-driven. Yeah, I think that may have been why Elizondo, Semivan, Mellon, they didn't really want to be associated with this. And to be honest, I still watch what they say, but they haven't said much lately. And so I think that's probably a good thing. This split with TTSA is probably a good sign. Karen Hoyle, hello, how are you? Di says, the people who stuffed up the world want to fly and inhabit another planet. So ironic. Well, maybe they won't be. I think the aliens have probably stopped them from what we've seen. We know that... I know that they've shooting down missiles and things like that. So yeah. Nihilus says, "Is Bob Lazar a shill?" Takes a step back. Oh God. Oh, it's like this is it'd be great, wouldn't it? But the thing is, if Bob Lazar's a shill, aliens must exist. Because if they didn't, there'd be. Just imagine if there were no aliens at Area 51 and you're like the commander of Area 51. And Bob Lazar comes on and tells loads of stories about aliens, and you'd be thinking, oh, damn that guy. This was a wonderful secret base we used to have. Now, some fool who knows nothing about it, has never been here, has put the damn thing on the map. Quite literally, it's now on the map. It never used to be. And it's very much down to Bob Lazar. Mr. Grail concurs that I'm looking smart, thank you. Paul Curtis, have you heard of James, says Ben, have you heard of James Bartley? Yes, I've met him. I actually presented his talk at the RepCon a few years ago in Bury, Greater Manchester. Tina says, a ruse like no nukes at Greenham. Oh, Tina, yes. We went there, didn't we? And they had a few cruise missiles, but it was a strange thing because like everyone's attention was focused there, so no one was looking at the main arsenal at Woodbridge Bentwaters. So is this a feint, Tina? I think this is what you're asking. It's a very legitimate question. Are the aliens actually somewhere else and not Area 51? Now, that's probably not. The only reason is because the whole concept of aliens at Area 51 never even existed, really, in the popular consciousness before Bob Lazar. If it had done, then you'd have a point. You would have a point. There's some kind... Everyone knows about it. Everyone knows there are aliens. We don't want them to know where it is, so let's distract them somewhere else. The difference is that we're one stage behind that. There's actually there's a concept which is actually quite fashionable nowadays, which is popularised by Mark Pilkington in his book Mirage Men and the film. So the book's better than the film, by the way. That UFOs are nothing more really some kind of engineered neo-mythology, which has been put out deliberately by the intelligence services to launder their more down-to-earth secrets. It doesn't fit. I've covered this in great detail in various articles and various videos. There's a big problem with that whole idea. It's because the idea is that they've got like a spy plane in development somewhere. So what they do is, I know, how are we going to keep the secret, guys? People are going to see it flying over. What are we going to do? I know, let's put out lots of stories about aliens so that people will look and see these things, will say, oh, it's aliens. And then that means that they won't see the fact that it is a secret spy plane and not aliens. It's as I say, it's a very fashionable idea. A lot of people believe in it, and I think they're wrong. It's drawing someone's attention towards something with the ultimate objective of deflecting it away is an extraordinarily risky gambit. It could backfire in any number of ways. It's literally like two guys rob a bank, and they both go and hide their stash in the woods until the heat's died down. One of them buries it under a tree in some secret location and goes away and doesn't tell anyone where it is. Another guy buries it. He buries the money, but instead of not telling anyone about it, he puts on a clown's costume and a tutu, and he jumps up and down on top of the place where he's buried his money. And every time a police car drives past, he says, "Excuse me, everyone, officers, just to let you know, there's no money buried here from a bank robbery, just unicorn bones, okay?" Now, which of those two secret hoards do you think is going to be found first? Exactly. Karen Hoyle, missing Gareth, obviously like many others. We all hope he's looking down and calling us I can't say that word, Gareth. Oh, yeah, a mental case. You say, that's a mental case. Yeah, Karen, yeah. I think he is. I mean, spirits when they pass on, what I've learned from my psychical research, firstly, they have memories of the life they've just led, and they have the ability to see the world they left behind. Armand says, if I bumped into a grey, I'd say, dude, run, and I would join him or her in their spaceship. Yeah. Gunther Haas, I went hunting years ago near Skinwalker. I remember some guys came along in a truck and said they were looking for Bigfoot. I'll never forget that. Yeah. Oh, man. We believe, says Karen. Yeah. I think so, Karen, yeah. But Skinwalker, oh my goodness me. Have you seen the latest, the 6-part series? There's going to be a new one. Brandon Fugel, I think, is producing it. Nihilist Lives Matter. Or they could just bomb the crap out of the Middle East to divert attention. Well, they've done that, really, haven't they? Diego Vera 2, Genius 2. What's the biggest secret? Aliens? No. There are some really big secrets, like the aliens, like 9/11, things like that, like free energy. The biggest secret is actually a really horrible one. It's the worst one, and I think it's the biggest, and it's the one that's going to shock people the most. It's not the reptilians either, before anyone says. It is the truth about what's happening to children in our world. The way they're treated, who treats them a certain way, what's done to them, and who does it, and how much it's done, is going to absolutely devastate our entire planet. When the truth comes out, and it has to come out because it's so horrible, you will see people weeping in the streets wherever you go. Tina says, 2 can keep a secret as long as one is dead. Well, even after that, it's like, if one's alive, it can still come out. David says, the prisoner's dilemma. Oh, yeah, that's the one that Adam Curtis mentioned in his... yes, he mentioned... Adam Curtis mentioned this. He said it was John Nash, this guy who's the beautiful mind. He was this psychological warfare expert who eventually had a breakdown. And he came up with a game. And believe it or not, it was called Fuck You Buddy. That was the name of it. Where you had to play a game with other people. He invented game theory, and it always involved being as ruthless as possible, never cooperating. John Fused, hello John. Lights spotted on Dartford Bridge in paper. Saw similar lights there a couple of years ago. All right. I wonder what that is. I mean, if it's in the papers, maybe there'll be photographs. Tiberius Kirk is here. Hi Ben, listening while I work. Hi Tiberius. Thanks for joining me, mate. Jock of Ages, hello, how are you? Late again, not to worry, mate, I'm still going. Anala says, it's not much of a speech, to be honest, just so horrific we don't want to open our eyes to it. Oh, sorry, secret, right, it's not much of a secret, just so horrific we don't want to open our eyes to it. Yeah, it's really is something, I think, that is essentially being kept from awareness through willful ignorance more than anything else. Because it's so horrible. I mean, the alien secret, it's quirky, it's fun, it's exciting. I mean, when it comes out, it's going to be, some people will freak out. Most people find it quite interesting and inspiring. But the secret, there's nothing nice about. The only good thing about the children's secret coming out is it'll stop. We'll put a stop to it. So that's why it has to come out. That's the thing to remember when it comes out. Just think, it's not going to happen anymore. The horrible thing is it's been going on without people acknowledging it and dealing with it. That's the horrible thing. Gunther has got to go. See you, Gunther. Steve Wills. Mirage Men book by Mark Pilkington is better than the documentary. Mark lives in Wiltshire now too. Yeah, he does. I've met him a couple of times. He did a screening of the film once. The book is, like I say, is better than the film. The film is interesting and informative, but you definitely got to read the book. However, I mean, I do think that the fundamental premise of both the book and the film is wrong. But it's interesting nonetheless. As a piece of, I think, ufological history, which he explores in great detail, it's worth reading and worth watching, definitely. Mr. Grayal, do you hold the simulation matrix possibility as a likely reality? I assume you're familiar with the simulation argument, with 3 possibilities outlined by Bostrom. Yes! And in fact, Nick Bostrom was on. He was interviewed by Sam Harris, and I found that very interesting. I looked him up, and then I found out that he'd been to the Bilderberg Group. But it is, in fact, it is a distinct possibility. Now, this is not foolish stuff. If you look at the quantum physics and the way subatomic particles behave, they are not like the solid objects we see around us. They appear to be like a bit of information and energy. They're almost like organized energy. Yet these subatomic particles make up the atoms that make up the solid subjects we know about. So this, if there was some kind of simulation, if this universe was some kind of holographic projection, then that's exactly what we would see. And indeed, this is not a new idea. This is being explored seriously by scientists today. But it's actually very ancient. A lot of Oriental mysticism actually is based on this entire idea that the universe is samsara, it's illusion. The whole purpose of meditation is meditation apparently allows you to see through this and see the fact that you're in a simulation. Mr. Grail, the simulation theory is the only possibility that answers all the questions. You know, it does. Oh, Charles has got... no, Charles is still here. Is Charles still here? Gunther's gone. No, I think it really is a serious, very serious possibility that reality is essentially not as real as we think it is. There's a higher reality behind the reality we know now. It can be symbolized by films like The Matrix. But if you look at both science and ancient traditions going back a long way, based on years and years of meditation and contemplation and discussion, you find the same thing. Absolutely, Grey Owl, you're absolutely right. Charles, another secret needs to be answered is why the world's richest man still cuts his hair with garden shears. Well, Charles, I think they're golden garden shears that were provided by your organisation, I believe. Mr. Grayle, problem is that all this woke culture is nothing but a big pile of blue pills. Well, I think there's as many red pills in as blue, because whenever they happen, people get red pilled by them. Woke culture is... I think woke culture is not something we really need to worry about, because it's so self-discrediting that it's kind of... It's become a self-parody. It's getting so extreme now, it's just become a self-parody, which will undo its own existence. I mean, I covered that in my last video quite a bit. Evening, Preacher Bear, how are you? Tina Silver, I have just got the notification for this live stream. Well, well done, YouTube. Well done, the algorithms. Thanks very much, guys. I'm an hour and 3/4 into my live stream, and some of my subs are still just getting notifications now. You really don't want people to watch me, do you? Preacher Bear, sadly, there's not enough talk about freedom in Christ. Oh, Preacher Bear, you live up to your name. You do. I'm pleased if you find solace in your faith. That's wonderful. That's good. Mr. Grayle, yeah, I saw that in your last vid. Good job on that one, Ben. Thanks, mate. The tech overlords suck, don't they just? Don't they just? You know, there's I've done, every time I get like a video banned or something, I do a video about it because I don't want this normalized. I had my video about Boris and Trump got banned. It got banned for what? Bullying and harassment? Where's the bullying and harassment in it? Watch it. I've still got it on my old tech sites. Watch it. Maiden fan got a notification at 8:15. Oh, right. So that's a slight improvement. You should be getting notifications literally within a minute of when I go live. It should appear in your feed. If you click the bell icon, you should be getting it should just immediately appear in your feed. You may even get email notifications as well. They sucks. It really does. It really does. I mean, really, they are just so bad now. There's no need for all this. They could sign Section 230 and just be done with it. Then they would, because it's just this. They're going to a lot of effort and to do this sort of thing. The censorship costs money. It costs effort. Why don't they just sign Section 230, and then they can just say goodbye to all that concern? Because if they sign that, it means that every individual user is responsible for the content they post, and YouTube are exempt. Woody Black's just got a notification for the stream. Well, you appear. I think you. Yeah, Woody Black. I think you were looking out for it anyway because you were here from the beginning, but you've only just got the notification now. So if you weren't looking out for the beginning, you'd only just suddenly hear I was here now. Sunshine Dragon, about energies. Did you hear random knocks in your room, or had a static sensation on your skin? No, I haven't. I haven't had the former, but the sensation on my skin I have, yeah. Preacher Bear, we have been prepared for this for years. Excuse me. Including the use of medical systems cull, as they say, the herd. All clear in the Bible. Will that be things like the mark of the beast and stuff like that? Yeah. That's been linked to the V word. Oh, Charles says, I'll drop an EMP pulse on them, Ben. That'll teach them. Nice one, mate. Nice one. Woody Black says, I came over because I remembered you were streaming. I didn't get the notification earlier. Oh, thanks, Woody. You know, that's why I put up the video beforehand, advertising the particular show. Karen Hoyle. Sorry, can't spell, Ben. Quantum computing was my fear, lol. Oh, you know, it's all right. Karen, quantum computing is very interesting, actually. Yeah, in my film, you know, did you watch my video, The Mandela Effect, where I interviewed the film, The Mandela Effect? Jock of Ages got mine 35 minutes ago. I've been going for, and you've been going for 90 minutes. Michelle says, "What's your favourite book, Ben?" It's the Illuminatus trilogy by Robert Shea, Robert Anton Wilson. It's superb. It's really good. There's several others I really like as well, but that's my best. Yeah, 8:45 got the notification, says Woody Black. Yeah. Michelle, Ben needs a nap, bless him. I'm getting getting the yawns again. Yeah, I won't go on longer than 2 hours actually. Because Nigel Phillips, Shemai Ben, just got the notification. Poo tube sucks. Yeah. Shemai Nigel, da drugjaun, mein drugjaun. Yeah. Oh, they do, don't they, Nigel? Karen Hoyle, are you going to Gareth's wake? Yes. The wake is there's going to be a memorial service in Swansea, and it's all on Facebook. You can find it there, in the group, things like that. And after that, there is going to be a wake as well. Karen, you've read the Illuminatus? It's good, isn't it? It's really good. Mr. Grey Owl, I saw it before I got banned, and my world is a better place for having seen your Trump and Boris vid. Yeah, I was trying to write a comment about Dr. Greer on YouTube, and it would get deleted as soon as I submitted it. Every subsequent message I would write and trying to document what was happening would get deleted. I kept leaving out what I figured were hot words and phrases. Instead would say unicorns and rainbows. My message that finally got posted was basically just a string of words, unicorns and rainbows, lol. Oh, right, I see. I don't know. I always check my spam box, Mr. Grey Owl. I certainly didn't delete anything you posted. Obviously, YouTube are preventing some people commenting on my videos. As for the Trump and Boris vid, I'm glad you saw it on YouTube. But, you know, it's not gone. It's out there. It's on BitChute. It's on Rumble. It's on Odyssey. It's on brand YouTube. I'm not going to let these... You know, I'm not going to depend on YouTube now for these things. If they want to ban any of my videos, tough. Because guess what? I'll put them elsewhere. Even this one now, I'm actually recording it as I stream it. And so even if like the recording doesn't process, I can re-upload it. And I can put it on alternative sites. So YouTube it's a waste of time in the end of the day. They can't paint over the sky. Excuse me. Pardon me. Crafty Nine said, "Hold the line on 9/11, everyone. Look up Awareness Foundation, inspired by the Baltic Way." All right. Okay, we'll do. Hopefully we'll meet again soon, Crafty, and we'll talk about that. Michelle, I'm going to buy that book to read in Spain on holiday. Oh, cool. How long's your holiday? It's a long book. But also, Michelle, don't forget, Roswell Rising, a novel of disclosure, and its 2 sequels. Shameless plug. Charles says, before you go to sleep, take me off your bloody spam list. Spam list? What do you mean, Charles? You said something about that before. I don't know what you mean. I don't spam people. I share notices with groups on Facebook and Twitter. That's all I do. Oh, Karen says you're hoping to be there. Oh, well, Karen, I'll hopefully see you there. Woody, one of your comments was deleted too, was it? Oh dear. Mr. Growl, yeah, I mean, all the best stuff. There's certain channels like Dave Cullen and people like that. I don't even go to YouTube to watch them now. Even the ones who are not banned from YouTube. People also Sargon of Akkad as well. He's not banned from YouTube yet, but I just go to Odyssey or BitChute and I automatically just go and watch them there. Odyssey is actually I'm really impressed with Odyssey. BitChute appears to be. I think BitChute appears to be. It's stagnating a bit. It's sad. It really is sad. I'm hopefully going to visit the headquarters of BitChute soon. Actually, I'll tell you more about that near the time. But it's a kind of it's like the technical problems are getting worse. It hasn't developed. It still doesn't have live streaming. It hasn't. It's still basically in the same state it was 3 years ago. So Ray, I respect Ray for what he's done, but he needs to find some way to get around this. And I know the UK government have gagged him. A lot of channels now are banned. So you can still watch them through a VPN like Tor, but the Tor browser, but you can't like log in or anything if you're watching them. Like I've said before, Styx Hexenhammer has made this point. Why doesn't he just transfer the business address to another country, a country which doesn't have this censorious attitude? I'll tell you what, there's a lot of places in the third world that would do it. Places which would really help their economy. Some of the third world tigers, like Brazil, Nigeria, etc., etc. These places would be only too happy to become the free speech internet center. Why doesn't Ray do that? Where are we now? Nothing as it seems. Once committed to the principle of silencing the voice of opposition, only one way to go, and down the path of increasingly repressive measures until it becomes a source of terror to all its citizens. Nothing as it seems. Welcome, by the way. Well, it's the thing about it is it's becoming a source of terror, but it's also becoming a source of anger and a desire for change. That's the good thing. Della says, I want to go on the spam list. How do I subscribe? Oh, I don't have a spam list. I have I had this thing on my website, doesn't work, where you could sign up for email notifications, but then it's up to people who want to unsubscribe. I don't have a spam list. Just the thing to do, Della, is what you're doing now. Just follow me on social media. It's the best thing to do. Crafty, in 2 weeks we're going to. Oh great. Crafty has uploaded some of the videos. Brilliant. I'll have a look at them, Crafty. I will. Thanks. But there's more to come, I know, because it's the protest. Right, I'll check that out. Crafty, I look forward to when you upload the videos we made together. Charles, your email keeps bouncing me back because I'm spam. I don't know, Charles. Honestly, I don't know why that is. I receive your inboxes. I receive the inbox. I often see you in my inbox. It's not a problem. Michelle, I'm going for a month to finish writing my book. I'm taking a book to read for further procrastination. Well, you can't do better than Roswell Rising, a novel of disclosure. But good luck with your book, Michelle. Let me know when you've done it. Mr. Grayle, here's the link to another vid that may be of interest to your UAP followers and yourself. It's an international coalition for UAP disclosure, etc. Oh, is that the one with Gary Heseltine? I think I might have seen it, but I know you can't post links, can you? But I think I might have seen it, Mr. Grey Owl. It's got Gary Heseltine. It's got a couple of other people. Don Schmidt. Who else is in it? Woody Black. BitChute has technical issues, but has also become quite censorious. Yeah, Woody. It's something that Ray hates. He really hates doing it. And he's put himself in a position where he has to, but he doesn't really. Woody, he doesn't have to. He could find a way through with this. Styx Hexenhammer's offered to help him. He has to shift the business out of Britain, but he can do it. I mean, there's some people just ask for these things. I mean, Parler. Parler didn't last long, did it? Well, Parler was set up via Amazon, for goodness sake. I mean, for goodness me, talk about leaving the drawbridge down. Oh, David Schultz. Greetings, Ben. Hello, David. How are you? Have you seen the documentary, The Conspiracy of Silence? It's about the Boys Town scandal during Papa Bush's administration. It's on YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's the one about that guy, that young boy who disappeared. Then he turned up years later, about 20 years later, working as a prostitute, wasn't he? He was a prostitute, and the Bush was used to shag him and things like that. I think that's the one you mean. Nihilist Lives Matter. BitChute getting throttled by UK government. It's really laggy, which I think may be done by nefarious agents. Yes, Nihilist. That's exactly what's happening. And Ray's finding it too much, I think. And I respect what he does, but he needs to keep. It's not over yet. I mean, BitChute was a fantastic success. Oh look at this. Charles says here, message blocked. Your message to Benny has been blocked. What the sweet bejesus is that happening? This is crazy. Charles, I'll check my settings if there's any problems. But honestly, I've never, ever done this. That's crazy. I don't know why that is. Sonara's Ashtray. Hey, how you doing? I have tech friends that have offered their services for free to BitChute, but no response. Sonara, yeah, it's... I've known several people like that too, and it's like it may be some of the same people. Ray, I think, is losing it. He's losing his impetus. He really is. Ray doesn't live. Ray lives in Thailand. You see, he's running the offices. The offices are running from Newbury here, just not far from where I am now. And BitChute's technical problems are getting worse. It's not developing. The live stream service never came about. Odyssey is now taken over from BitChute, and there's lots of others. I'm glad to say BitChute's not the only one. There's Odyssey, Rumble, and many, many others. No doubt more will come along. There's a new one called freespeech.tv, which is a brand new one. So it's gonna. There's no way we're not going to go away if we lose BitChute. We're not going to go away. But it's just very sad. It's very sad that BitChute, because BitChute they threw the first brick, didn't they? It was Ray and BitChute that really led the first charge against censorship. And I'd want to see him continuing to do that. It would be nice for sentimental reasons, if for no other reason, to see Ray continue to do that. Charles says, at GMX, we adhere to the strict no-tolerance spam policy. Oh, bullshit. I mean, what the hell are you talking about? You are contact, for fuck's sake. I'll double-check, mate. I'll check that you are on my contacts list. All right, Charles. Because I don't know why. Because I'm sure I made you a contact. But even if you're not, I mean, simply sending me a text message. Besides, I get loads of bloody spam anyway. The ISA video is on the YouTube channel Strange Planet. Right, that's another one to look up. I've got Christina Gomez here. I'll look up the other one. Strange Planet. Because I think I've seen it. But I'll just check. I do subscribe to Ace. Here we are. Yeah. All right. I think I'm familiar with this guy. Yeah, International Coalition for Extraterrestrial Research. Right, you are. Streamed 2 months ago. I see it. I'll check it. I think I've seen it before, but I'll double check. All right, Mr. Grey Owl. International, yeah. Monopopius. Nigeria, the home for begging emails. Oh, yes. I mean... yeah, I get those. The Princess of Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't have a royal family anymore. They abolished their monarchy. But no, they are a place where they are one of these countries. There's others. There's Brazil. There's India. There's Vietnam and places like that, where they are what's known as the third world tigers. They have an up and coming, expanding economy. And they're very keen to develop it in imaginative ways. Well, this is the perfect way. Become the home of the free speech internet. Buy up all the servers. Put all the servers together in one country and say there's going to be no censorship for us. Just think what that would do to their economy. Just think about it. Della says Charles's emails provider is getting blocked by yours, Ben. It sounds like Charles's email address has been blacklisted. I will double check, Della, that Charles is on my contents list. When I've done this live stream, I'll go and check. All right. Karen says, enjoyed your input on Gareth's Mindset Morning. Afternoon to us in the UK. Very interesting topics. Karen, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I'm just so sad that they ended just literally... Gareth started them, and then a month later, basically, he did the last one. I'm very proud to have been involved in that. I think I was in all the ones I could be during that short time he was doing the Mindset Mornings. They're on YouTube. They'll be there. Don't forget, I've downloaded them. Download them yourself. Download everything. Although YouTube, like I say, is probably likely to stay. Michelle says, I bought your book, Ben. Thank you, Michelle. I hope you enjoy it. The lights were low. Hi Ben, how old are you? Oh my goodness me. Come on. My life is such an open book. You've got to allow me a little bit of mystery, surely. I'm not going to say. Let me put it this way. I am mature. I'm not a kid. I'm mature. I've got a daughter who's an adult. But at the same time, I'm not a doddering old guy like Joe Biden either. Oh, yeah. Frank Tree. Hello, Frank. How are you? I was on Gareth's live streams a few times. It hit me hard too. Terrible loss. When's the memorial? Frank, I recognise your name. The memorial is next Wednesday. The details are on the Mindset group. I think it's open to anyone who wants to attend. I'll double check on that, but I think it is. But if you remember the Mindset podcast, the Mindset group, you'll see it. I've also shared it on my page, so you'll see it. Dee Dee, have you gotten the V word? Is the Pope Muslim? Sunshine Dragon, what's your opinion on Eric von Daniken's UFO and aliens archaeology books? I read the first one when I was like about 13 or 14, and it blew my mind. I mean, I can see a few like holes in it now, a few errors, but at the time it was fantastic. The Crafty Nihilist, I'm the Princess of Nigeria, and so is my wife. Oh, so I'll send the money to you then, shall I? You invest it for me wisely, yes. David, Splendid Isolation. The whole Western world will come under the control of the Antichrist beast. It already has, David. Mr. Grail. Ben, as a late-night project that just came to me because I was cleaning out my parents' garage and found a bunch of vintage lamp parts. I've assembled some cool retro-looking UFO UAPs. Oh, right, well done. Oh, that can be used for ashtrays, containment units to put your weed in or whatever. I'll set one aside for you. We'll email you a pic. They're pretty dope retro. I'm looking at Bob Lazar style sources like the ones that armed dude were taking pictures of. What's his name? He probably used the same lamp parts. It's like Art Deco, New York style lamps from the 1930s to 50s. Thanks, Mr. Grey Owl. You know, it could be try selling them. It'll be a booming business for you. A Sunshine Dragon, can you add me to the Mindset group? What's your name on Facebook? I'm Ben Emlyn-Jones on Facebook. Just drop me an inbox. I'll add you. I don't know if I'm admin. I'll suggest to admins that I add you. But even so, Sunshine, I'll send you the details of the thing. Frank, can I send flowers to be delivered on the day? Yes. Contact Matthew. Is it Matthew? I don't know if Matthew's dealing with that. There's the details are on the Mindset group. What you can actually arrange flowers to be delivered to the memorial service if you just, the time is 2:30 p.m. and I can't remember the venue, but it's in Swansea and it's all the details are there, and there are plenty of florists who will deliver flowers on the day at the right time. Yeah, they will. Monopods got the Nigerian monarchy genders mixed up. Oh dear. DD, your mate died of the C word and you didn't get the V word. How do you rationalise that? Now's not the time for that discussion, DD, if you don't mind. I believe I did actually mention in my last two videos, or not the last one, it was the one where I talked about Gareth dying. How do I rationalise that? No, absolutely nothing that happened to Gareth contradicts any of his beliefs. None of us have ever said, none of us are deniers in the sense that we say the C word doesn't exist. We've never said the C word doesn't exist. What we've said is that the V word and everything else that goes with it is an engineered, contrived solution. But anyway, maybe we'll talk about that later. I think that's something we can discuss perhaps in more detail at another time. It's too soon after Gareth departed to go into any more details right now. Right. I loved read his books and theories. Oh, Sunshine Dragon, you mean... Oh, von Daniken, yes, very interesting stuff. Green Sky 17, hello. Not a lot of UFO, Jinn and reptilian stuff on Simon Parks' new website. I haven't checked his website. I assume he's going to say something about Robert David Steele. The Black Vault. Do you know whether or not if Percy and friends will be on podcasts in the future? I don't know, Matthew. I'm not sure. Crafty. He's hot. His eyes on my bags. Well, wait. Time and place. Okay. Thanks, DD. Much appreciated. Now, it's now 2 hours, 5 minutes since I started, so if you don't mind, I'm going to end it now. But I want to say a big thank you for joining me on this live stream, this memorial live stream to Gareth Davies. A lot of you've been really, really good, you guys, coming on here, talking about, firstly, about Gareth, but also, of course, we went off topic, which we would do, because we talked about the sort of things Gareth likes to talk about. And so this is the perfect memorial to him. And there's going to be another one on Paranormal Radio as well, because, of course, like I said, it's a separate listenership, so I will be doing another memorial on Paranormal Radio. But thank you, Mr. Grayle, very, very much for what you've just posted there. It's much appreciated. Thank you, Michelle Sovereign. Good night, sweetheart. Thank you. Good night, Mr. Grayle. Charles, end it. That's why are we that tedious? Charles. If you were tedious, I'd find it easier because I wouldn't run out of energy talking to you guys. see you, Olivia. Bye, Crafty Nice. I'll see you again soon. Gareth would have loved the things we talked about, Sunshine Dragon. Yes, he would. And you know what? I'm sure he is watching us wherever he is now. But thank you, all of you, who took part in this live stream. Rest in peace, Gareth Davies. Rest in peace. Till we meet again. I think we will meet one day. I'll make sure of that. Good night, everyone.